Jay, that's strangely close to Daniel Jones from the Giants. Daniel, is that you? Beat the Chiefs. Show me. If the Broncos and Russell Wilson can show me that they can beat the Chiefs, then I will start believing.
The crowd up. And so are this defense, and Kansas City won't snap the ball again. The Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
David Montgomery on the Lions. Former Bear, gonna make this his revenge game for sure. David Montgomery gets the touchdown that ices the game. No! And there's a flag. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. Snap. Hold. Kick.
Denver wins! Denver wins! Let's go!
They open. No!
What happened? Oh shit.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Only Football Today. We're going to be talking our Week 8 predictions for the NFL. We have got a pretty solid slate of games. We're going to go through each game and give you guys our predictions, starting with Thursday Night Football and obviously ending with Monday Night Football. We're also going to be doing our top five. And of course, we're going to end it all off with the Chives with Kyle. Let's get it. America is football. Football is America.
Football is America. And if you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass.
For the moment in time, I don't give a damn.
Oh my God.
No.
You love it.
30 to 27.
No!
Chiefs win. Chiefs
No!
win 30 to 20. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official NFL Week 8 predictions. I'm fired up. My name's Kyle. That's Rick.
I'm Rick. That's Kyle.
And we are going to see if Rick can get some of these right this week.
I know.
It's been hard for him. He's been struggling.
I've been struggling getting hard. You're right. Mm-hmm.
We're going to start not with that. We're going to start with the Chargers and the Vikings. You know, this is not the first time Jim Harbaugh has played the Vikings as a Charger. He's done it as a player.
Oh.
And I take you back to the 1990s. I believe it was 1991 where Jim Harbaugh is the starting quarterback over the Chargers, and he goes in and throws an interception on the 17-yard line that ices the game for the Vikings. Man, it's funny remembering these guys, some of them as players, but now he's much better at coaching than he ever was at quarterbacking. The Chargers have better odds, I would say, in this game. And I think the key factor is the Vikings' difficult short week after the travel week. And I look at this, and I may be the only one that pays a lot of attention to it because, you know, last week we had that game against the Giants, and I think a lot of people just forgot to consider we declined taking the bye week after the London game, which is always a tough thing to do. Now, we were able to score 33 in the fourth and make it a dub, but it's difficult for teams to go to London and then come across the country. And then not only that, but you look at the Vikings, they're going to come all the way back and then travel across the country again to get to LA.
Cool.
And I think while Wentz has provided a spark for the team, I think the Chargers are considered the better overall team. I think a couple of weeks ago, people were just kind of like, oh, sell all of your Chargers stock. And it's funny because, like,
yeah,
I said this the other day, like, you're only 3 games away from people having an entirely different picture of you. You know? And they went 1-2 in that stretch. They didn't even go winless in it, but yet now it's like, ooh, what do we do? Do we go with the Chargers at home in their throwback uniforms with Justin Herbert, or do we take the team that just traveled from London to America just to go from Minnesota to LA with a quarterback situation that we don't understand. This is a pretty easy one for me. Like I'm taking the Chargers at home, and I don't think the NFL schedule planners did Minnesota any favors this week. I think this is an easy W. Maybe the score will be close, but the Chargers ultimately win this game. I would be shocked if anything other happened.
Yeah, I think I've also got to go with this just because of the travel. The Vikings just lost to the Eagles last week, and the Eagles were struggling going into that game. Like it didn't seem like the Eagles were going to go into that game and beat the Vikings because of, the defense that the Vikings can put pressure on the quarterback, just the offense in general. But the Vikings look like a team that unfortunately look really lost right now. And you said it specifically at the quarterback position. Carson Wentz, started a couple weeks ago or about 3 weeks ago, whenever it was that JJ McCarthy was injured. And he looked decent. Like we were like, Kevin O'Connell's in his bag again with these quarterbacks. Like we talk about all these other coaches, right? And it just hasn't really translated into anything like you see like a Daniel Jones, like a Darnold from last year, et cetera, right? Whereas the Chargers, like you said, like they're still very much in the conversation of a playoff team, possible division winner. Although I think the Broncos right now are in first place. Remind me, Kyle, are the Broncos in first place right now? They are, right?
They are in first place.
They are.
Actually, I think the script writer just hold on. Hey, are the Broncos? Do we stay in first
place? I'm sure you guys could hear that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Kyle, what did the script writer say, Kyle?
Okay, so the scriptwriter actually said they're staying there.
Let's go.
They're not going anywhere, baby.
Let's ride. So there you go. Broncos are in first place, but Chargers again still look good. Like Kyle said, like 3 weeks from now, we're talking about a different Chargers team, possibly whether on the worse end or on the better end. And you had mentioned about Harbaugh, how he beat the Vikings as a starter back in '91. He also has another crazy thing he can do on tonight, actually.
Cock push-up?
I've actually seen him do 3 of those. So no, that, he has the opportunity to do something that only one other man in the NFL has done, and that is win 60 starts as a quarterback and win 60 starts as a head coach. So if he wins tonight, he ties that record with none other than Van Brocklin, who we all know and love. Van Brocklin, you know who Van Brocklin is, right?
Of course.
Yeah, everybody knows who Van Brocklin is. But he's got something. If he wins tonight, he can actually tie that record, being 60 as a starter, winning 60 as a head coach. So given that information as well, and how the Chargers are still very much in the conversation and still very much a threat in the AFC, I got to go Chargers here. They're at home. Again, the travel with the Vikings, and this record is on the line for Harbaugh. Give me the Chargers to take a dub.
Okay, how many games has Jim Harbaugh won in the NFL total? Is it 60?
I don't know if it's exactly 60. I think it's like the minimum 66. Of 60. 66. There you go.
He compiled a record of 66 and 74. He made the playoffs 3 times, and I remember this one, including a shocking 95 season where he led the Colts to the AFC Championship game, a game they lost to the Steelers, and then the following year, I don't remember if he got hurt or if he just started playing terribly, but the Colts finished as like one of the worst records, and then that's how they ended up getting Manning.
Oh, wow.
I remember I did a short on this like 3 years ago. It's kind of coming back now. Okay. Good. Should be a good game. The Chargers posting their social media posted like, this is what a real throwback looks like, because Denver released their throwback, and it's like, oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. You don't even know what you like. Like everybody wants the powder blues, so you make that your thing. And now all of a sudden these old uniforms are really cool again. It's like, dude, whatever.
Somebody said their yellow uniforms that made them look like the Minions.
Oh my God,
That's so funny. That's so funny.
But yeah, now all of a sudden those 2000s are hot shit after being begged to take them off as the alternate and make the powder blues our everyday uniform. All right, we'll do that. Can we get the old Navy blues back, baby? Like,
those were sick.
God, those guys are ridiculous. They don't know what they want. The Falcons are taking on the Dolphins. Okay. We got this game in Atlanta after Atlanta had one of their worst games of the year. Not their worst. They lost 0-30 to the Panthers, but one of their worst. I think there was a lot to like in this game, even though it wasn't clicking. I like Darnell Mooney coming back. I like that he had like 7 targets. It wasn't clicking in this game, but it gave me the feeling that it's going to be clicking maybe this week. I have Darnell Mooney on my flex. Ooh. I'm going to probably keep him there. The Fins are just the like we've talked about it, so we don't have to rehearse any of this. But the Dolphins are in a bad place, and without like talking too much about a game that I don't feel like there's really much to talk about, I'm going to take the Falcons to get the win, and this should be a nice little home win to. Yeah, and I said it all year. Like they're going to win 2, they're going to lose 2, they're going to win 1, lose 1. Like this is the Falcons, and if every time they win, you're like, oh my God, they're going to be in the NFC Championship. It's going to be a tough year for you, but just know that they're going to be a 9-win team, and just be okay with it because they're going to win games like this.
Yeah, I like you said, not to spend too much time on this one either. The Falcons, I think, are going to win this one, especially in Mercedes-Benz Stadium against the Dolphins. We know that the Dolphins are just bad vibes all around. Tua's playing like absolute garbage. Quinn Ewers came in for him the last game. And I think that just goes to show how much confidence Mike McDaniel has in his quarterback. and in Quinn, and possibly, I mean, Quinn Ewers, he looked at, dude, this is what McDaniels did. He's like, man, Tua's playing like shit. And then he's like, Quinn, let's go, dude.
Sideline. There was after the third pick, he was like pointing at Tua, saying like, "Get off the field."
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
Oh god! It's just so bad. Everything in Miami is it's bad. So it's dog shit. There's really nothing to like on the Dolphins side right now. They're like up. Honestly, Kyle, if you told me that the Dolphins and the Saints were going to play this week, I'd probably pick the Saints. That's how bad I think everything's happening with the Dolphins in Miami and everything. And you're going to see a turnover of talent and coaching. If not within the next few weeks, at least definitely during the offseason. Now the Falcons.
I'm going to light a candle in the memory of McDaniels.
of the greatest show on surf. And the Falcons, they just got all the weapons. Like you said, like the Falcons are this weird team over the last few years where they win 2 and they look really good. People are talking about the Falcons, and then they lose randomly to like one of the worst teams in the league, and then they win 1 and then they lose 2. But this one's definitely going to be a win for the Falcons. I hope Penix is able to have a huge game because I think that's what Falcons fans really want. And like you said, Darnell Mooney, start him, put him at your flex, something. He definitely has the ability to make big plays with his speed and his route running ability. So give me the Falcons to take the W here. A huge win at home. I'm going to give a score for this one. I'm going to go 31-13. The reverse score. 31-13. Falcons take the dub. Michael Penix looks good. Darnell Mooney catches a touchdown. Bijan rushes for 2 and has 75 yards receiving. Let's just call it what it is. It's going to be a stomping. It's going to be a bird stomping on the Dolphins. Usually a dolphin would kill a falcon, I think, out in nature, out in the wild. But I think the Falcon's going to poke its eye out. It's going to grab it with its claws and take it to its other falcon family.
All right, calm down now. All right, that's enough. Your kid's watching this. All right. So yeah, Rick's got the Falcons. Next up, And a shout out to everyone in the chat. I see Lily, Jinja, some others.
Oh, yeah.
Continue to let it roll. We want to see yours as we go. We show us yours. We'll show you ours. Next up, we got the Bengals and the Jets. And oh God, do we have to? Okay, this is crazy because I know I'm being unfair to the Bengals who traded for Joe Flacco and beat the Steelers in a game where Joe Flacco looked great and Jamar Chase broke records. So let me watch this back a little bit and say, look, the Bengals have a golden opportunity to win this game and be 500, which I think a couple of weeks ago we thought they were on their way to 2-14. So the fact that they've been able to turn this around, it says a lot. Now for the Jets, their coach, I keep trying to stick up for him, but it's getting weirder. He's just getting more strange at the podium. He went on a couple days ago and said now he knows who his quarterback's going to be, but he's not going to release that detail to the public because it's a unique opportunity because the defense doesn't know who to game plan for. I don't feel like they're that different. It's like, I don't think their offensive play caller is like so genius that he's like, oh, I got this whole other like scheme and identity with Tyrod Taylor. Like you plan so much around Tyrod Taylor, right? Like, come on. Like, it's not like you got Joe Burrow and Justin Fields. I could get that where it's like, oh my God, are we going pocket quarterback or are we going to get a lot of RPO? Like, no, it's like, it didn't look any different when we saw Tyrod Taylor last week. So why would it this week? I mean, I don't know what they're doing. The quarterback situation and the uncertainty and the potential coaching changes, that offensive coordinator, it's creating a perfect get right scenario for the Bengals. And after winning the way they did last week, I'm going to say that the Bengals are going to get this done. I'm going to hold my breath and I'm going to take the Bengals and I'm not going to bet any money on it.
Very, very smart of you, Kyle. I don't think anybody should. The Jets, everything that Aaron Glenn has done is just, he, unfortunately for him, and maybe you'd agree with this, Kyle, he looks and talks to the media like a first-year head coach. Like, this is like prime Eberflus last year. Last year with the Bears, Eberflus was at the podium, looked lost. So I know exactly what this looks like. And that was Eberflus's third year. So, Aaron Glenn doing this in his first year, to be honest, it actually gives me some faith that he's probably going to look back at the season and be like, that's where I fucked up.
Yep.
Don't do that anymore, because you have things that happen like that with Dan Campbell, with Sirianni. Their first time at the podium talking to the media, you're like, yeah, this guy's a first-year head coach. So again, it gives me confidence that at least Aaron Glenn's getting this out of the way because Sirianni and Dan Campbell have gone on to have very successful runs with their teams. Now, the one thing that I think is confusing about Aaron Glenn too in this situation is Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets. He said he's got the utmost faith in Aaron Glenn, which as an owner, you made the decision to hire him. I think you should, at least you were involved in the hiring there. He hates Justin Fields. Woody Johnson hates Justin Fields. He was quoted as saying, if we could complete a pass, it would look good.
Yep.
It's hard when you have
short on it.
What's that? Oh, yeah, it was a short you did. Exactly. So, and it's hard when you have a quarterback with a rating that he has the ability to do something. It's just not vibing or whatever it is that he said, some sort of old school term that he used as an old man. But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results. If you go across the league, you have to play consistently at that position. And that's what we're going to try to do for the remainder of the season. So he hates Justin Fields and in a sort of roundabout way is saying, put in Tyrod Taylor, not directly, obviously, but almost like speaking through the media. He's like, dude, I don't know. I don't think we can do it with Justin, but I have the utmost faith in Aaron Glenn. So good and bad, right? Now the Bengals, like you said, this could be an absolutely awesome game for them, especially given the fact that they were able to win last week against the Steelers, are second in the division, even with a losing record at 3-4, and have the ability with Joe Flacco to really get back on that like the right direction, I guess you would say. There's a lot of talent on the offense. The defense just needs to hold and has been holding in certain situations. So it's kind of promising for Bengals fans. You got Joe Flacco and you're just like, thank God. We got a Joe there at QB, which is what I've been saying. All you need is a Bengals fan. You need a guy named Joe at the quarterback position. I think all of this put together makes it a big, big win for the Bengals. They get back to 500, and the Steelers are kind of looking over their shoulder and being like, are the Bengals about to go at the division? Are they going to go on a run here? But give me the Bengals to win this one. This is going to be a fun game. I think it might be like Tyrod Taylor, Joe Flacco, two old heads again, just kind of going at it, but the Bengals come out on top. Lil Lee's taking the Jets 36-21. I don't even know if they could score 36, Lil Lee, but hey, there's hope. There's hope.
Yeah, and do you know how long Omari and Hampton? I know we passed the Chargers game, but do you know if there's a timetable on his return by any chance?
Omari and Hampton. Let's see here. I've got the report up. First round rookie Omari and Hampton and veteran Najee Harris on injured reserve. So at least 4 weeks.
At least 4 more weeks from today?
With Hassan rolled out. Yeah, I don't know if it's 4 weeks from week 8 or if it was 4 weeks from week 7. But if you're on the IR, I believe the minimum is 4 weeks that you got to be out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it just depends when he was officially
exactly. Yeah.
put on. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I was like, shit.
Yeah. Somebody in my league just dropped Omari and Hampton, and I'm like, okay.
You sure?
I just put in a quick waiver. I'm like, what are you doing? Why?
Yeah.
Like, why would you drop him? He's going to be healthy for the playoffs, and he was getting like 28 points a game. But
wow.
dude, the Chargers are really missing out on him. Like, he needs to come back, and that offense will start to click. Same with Joe Alt, who will be back today.
Nice.
The Eagles got a win finally after losing 2 in a row to the Broncos and the Giants, and then they, like you said, struggled with the Vikings, but then finally able to get a win. And now this has turned into a potentially amazing divisional game. And who would have thought that week 1? Like, watch Giants Eagles week 8, it's going to mean something. But the stars have aligned, and here we are. The straight up winner remains with the Eagles due to their overall depth, talent, historical dominance in this rivalry. I think the prediction that the Eagles are going to lose twice in 3 weeks to the Giants, it's a tough one. And then you got to also take into consideration the emotional loss that the Giants just took.
Yeah.
When you feel like you did everything right and you still lost, it's really hard to just turn the page and be like, on to the next, right?
Yeah.
But that's what they're going to have to do here. Philly's won 15 of the last 18. I don't really care about that because Jackson Dart's won 1 of the last 1, you know?
Yeah.
He only played the Eagles once, and he beat them bad. So now I think the Broncos have a much better defense than the Eagles, but he was able to, I mean, he still completed less than 50% of his passes, but he was able to, I don't know, I don't want to call it luck, but there was a lot of tip balls that ended up being 55-yard touchdowns. And there's just like a belief out there. The players are keeping the play alive. He's keeping the play alive. They're coming up with these miraculous plays. They have that belief, which ironically enough is what Russell Wilson's preached from the podium his entire career. Yet it's Jackson Dart replacing Russell Wilson that instills the real belief in this team. And Russell Wilson just clapped back at Sean. I don't know if you saw this.
I saw that. Yeah.
He posted that. And just really quick, what did you think of that? Because I can clip that. What did you think of that? The exact clip was like, he called Sean classless because Sean said he was hoping, he was texting the owners of the Giants and he was saying, I was hoping you wouldn't make the quarterback change until after we played them, insinuating that Jackson Dart would be the tougher opponent, which is objectively true. Now there's people I was watching on SportsCenter yesterday going, he is a classless bum. And I'm just like, what are you guys so mad about? When
Sean Payton?
Truth? Yeah, Sean Payton's a classless bum. I'm like, look, if the truth hurts your feelings that much, like, I don't care. I really don't care. Now you can say like some things are better left unsaid. I can agree with that. But if it make you so mad that you're gonna call him a classless bum because he was clearly just talking to our media and keeping it, as the kids say, 100. And it's not, there's no lies detected in this. Like, we all were hoping for Russell Wilson. But because he said it, he immediately is a classless bum. I just, wait, where did this take you?
I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't think Sean should have said that. Like, I get what he meant when he cleared it up, but if you're Russ, what's that?
Did Sean clear it up?
Yeah, because he said here.
I didn't know he cleared it up. I wish he would.
Yeah, Peyton responded Wednesday, so this was just yesterday, that his original comment was comment quote was strictly about Dart. In no way, shape, or form anything that was directed at Russ. I might be able to see how he might perceive that, but coming off that win and watching how Dart played, that wasn't my intention at all. And that's fine, but Sean hated Russ. Sean hated Russ.
He did not hate him.
He hated
offense, so you got rid of it. There's no feelings in this business.
He hated how Russ operated.
Yeah. What are you kissing babies for? You're not running for fucking governor.
Exactly. He hated how he operated. You're right. He did not hate Russ. He probably doesn't hate anybody, if we're being honest. Like, it takes a lot to hate someone at a really, truly personal level. I think he just hated the way he operated. But when you look at Russ's side, when you see something like that, he was in the room. He was in the same organization with Sean for a season, right? I'm sure there was some tension when Sean came in and immediately was like, yeah, there's going to be no private offices, private trainers in my organization if I'm the head coach, right?
Your own office.
Exactly. Like, there's definitely tension the second Sean accepted the Broncos job when Russ was still the quarterback.
To be fair, our media was asking him all of these questions. Sean wasn't bringing it up, but they were like, Sean, like, what about the extra? Like, they knew what they were doing. Our media
100%,
100% forcing Sean to answer these questions, where of course Sean's gonna be like, no, we're not doing that. And then we're gonna be like, oh, Sean's not having it, Yeah. Like, well, he didn't go out and say it on his own. Like, you guys forced him literally in the corner with a microphone to yes or no, can he have two offices?
Yeah, and he was just like, no, that I've never been in an organization. I think that this is kind of like
exactly what he said.
Yeah, I've never been in an organization where the starting quarterback has their own office, their own parking spot, their own training personnel. So again, there's a lot of tension there in that one season with Russ and Sean. And then again, if you're looking at it from Russ's perspective, you probably think it's a shot, which I think most of us would think so in that situation, given the tension and given all that season with the Broncos. But I think Sean maybe tried to get away with it and just didn't, because people were catching on to it. So I think at the end of the day,
because he's the one that clapped back.
Well, again, from Russ's perspective, that's what you're thinking he's trying to say, right?
No. I'm just saying I didn't hear about this until Russ posted, the statement. I didn't even.
Right.
I was watching and I didn't pick up on that was a Russ insult, because we're all like, yeah, of course, And then Russ makes that post, and then you watch it from a different lens, and you're like, okay, yeah, I could see why he had his feelings hurt for sure.
Exactly. So I think that was one of those situations where maybe the words were misconstrued, but also like Sean's been around the league for over a decade, 15 years, whatever it is. I think even he knew, like, Yeah, maybe that wasn't the right way to say it. Or maybe I shouldn't have said anything at all to the media, because you can, I mean, as a coach in the media, you could be like,
I'm not.
No, man, I think, we would have won this game no matter who was a quarterback, something like that, to that, whatever.
And Sean has always had a really good way of, like, you made that comment about Aaron Glenn. You can tell he's a first-year coach based on how he's talking to the media, connecting Eberflus's first year. Sean came in and was like, don't ask me about injuries after a game, ever. Don't, do this. Don't do that. I'm going to come in, I'm going to make a statement, and then you're going to ask questions. Like, and he came from Bill Parcells, who had a very interesting relationship with the media. And it was one where Bill Parcells knew the media had a job, and he would give them something like this. So they had something, like, Sean knew what he was doing. He might act like he didn't, but he was giving the media a bone here. And he was also, because I agree with you, like, Sean knows how to play the game with the media, and he will act innocent, and he'll do things like this so that our writers, make money. You learn these guys have families and stuff, and you want them to have a national story.
And look, it's all competition too. Like, Russ, right now, your arrow's pointing down. Sean Payton and the Broncos are going up, dude. That's competition, baby. That's how you win games mentally and physically.
Yeah, so that's why you kick an onside to start the second half. You got to have that in you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Sean Payton, did he know better? Probably, but there's also a mental edge to this sport, and really all professional sports at the end of the day. Look at Michael Jordan. Look at Tom Brady. Oh my God, this guy beat me at golf once, or he said something at dinner once. I'm going to kick his ass. And this was already post game to beating the Giants. But hey, man, if Russ is going to take that personally, then guess who won? Not only on the field, but in here. And it was Sean at the end of the day. So Russ can say all he wants and can take offense. At the end of the day, he's not the starter, and is probably going to be out of the league very soon, unfortunately. And Sean won. Now,
what do you think about this game with Jackson Dart, bouncing back after? This is another distraction. I don't know how much it's affecting the Giants, but all these little things, what did they say? It's not the mountain that wears a team down. It's the thorn in your heel. It's the little things over and over and over.
Right.
And I don't know if the Giants are at that point. I don't know what the Giants really are. I don't know. We've seen them dominate the Eagles. We saw them dominate Denver for 3 quarters. And now there's a lot of people, because of the way they lost, predicting them to finish around 500, where I think, are we just throwing away that possibility where the Giants win 90% of their remaining games? Because I'm not so sure we should yet. Where are you at with this game?
Yeah, I don't know about this game. This is a divisional game. Obviously, we talked about the Giants winning the first one against the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles are going to let this one slip. I really do think the Eagles and the Cowboys are headed for a clash of who's going to win the division. The Commanders are obviously having their issues, but the Giants, I'm not necessarily dismissing them as a 4th place team. I think I said at our last episode, where can the Giants actually be 2nd or 3rd in this division right at the end of the year? And I don't think the Eagles are looking at this as a for sure win, or being like, oh, they won one, we're taking the next one at home. No, I think the Giants are definitely one of those teams that are very frisky and that you got to take seriously, man. With Jackson Dart and Scatabo there, like, those are 2 guys who love to, like, hit people and get hit, and will probably have CTE in like the next 5 years. So I don't know that we could just dismiss the Giants, because I think throughout the entire season, they're going to be a tough game. And they're going to be able to win some of those. I don't know if they're going to have I could see them have an 8-9, 9-8 type of year. Really. Like, I think it's going to be very much at or above or below 500. Really,
I'm starting to think there's going to be a 3 or 4-way tie at 9 wins in this division. And if you would have said in the beginning of the year, hey, this division's going to be very close, I would have been like, okay, that's not that crazy. Commanders, Eagles. Yeah, not one team's going to win 10 wins.
I think
I'm thinking that's where this is headed. This happens every now and then. You got 3 8-win teams and 1 9-win.
So, I just don't know if it's going to be there's no team without a 10-win season.
I'm starting to get there. That's just
me, I get though. You. No, I totally get you. We're week 8 right now, and it's like who's winning the division, right? Like it's still very much a question.
And the Eagles, the Giants, they have to be opportunistic about where this division's at right now, because no team has the Eagles, for what it's worth, they're 1-2 in their last 3, and their last win was not impressive. And if they lose this, they'll be 1-3 in their last 3. And Saquon Barkley continues his most rushing yards this season's 85 yards.
It looks bad right now with the Eagles.
They can't run the football. They can't do anything. So we'll see what happens. We got the Bills. Just to be clear, who are you taking to win this game?
I'm going to take the Eagles at home. The Giants have a lot of injuries, and the Eagles, they don't have Ojulari, but they're bringing in Brandon Graham. We'll see if he's able to do anything, but I'm taking the Eagles at home for this one. This was going to be a close one.
Yeah, and I'm going to swap my pick to the Giants. I'm going to go with what I've been seeing and not what I think will happen on this one. The Bills and the Panthers, despite their recent 2-game losing streak, the Bills are a heavy favorite. Coming off their bye, they get arrested Josh Allen. That gives them an advantage, especially with Young reportedly out due to injury. Now they're going to be replacing him with Andy Dalton, Andy Dalton remains a viable starter. We've seen him come in, and usually he will just pepper the number 1 wide receiver with targets, like how Joe Flacco did with Jamar Chase. I expect big games out of wide receivers that have underperformed all year. Xavier Legette, guys like that you're like, what happened to him? Expect him to have a top 10 fantasy day. I think that's possible. But overall, this is a get right spot. I know I said that a couple times, but this just looks too good for me to pass up on. I think the Bills get the win against a Carolina pass rush that has struggled to pressure opposing quarterbacks, and Dalton Kincaid's probably going to have a big game, and they really do need it is very crucial now because of all the injuries they've been dealing with. They need Keon Coleman to emerge as a clear number 1 wide receiver. He needs to have multiple touchdowns. He needs to go over 100 yards. And this needs to be a dominant win. And I know there's a lot of parity, and I think the Panthers are a lot better than people think. So I'm telling you what the Bills need to do. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a close game. The reason why I think their Panthers defensive coordinator, I think he's the best, or I think he's the 3rd best in the league. I think he's going to be a future head coach. They're doing so much, and they don't have a ton of talent, but they're doing so much with what they have. It's going to be a close game. I think the Bills could still win by around 8.5 points or 8 points. Where are they favored at? Do you see it? You don't have to go looking for it. I'll find it while you go.
No, I had it right here. Damn it. -7.
Oh, okay. So yeah. I guess I'm not against you taking the Bills with the points here, but I don't. It's not my favorite bet this week.
Yeah, and for me, the bye week for the Bills could not have come at a better time. They lost 2 in a row. They get their bye week, so they are very fresh for this game. Although they do have a couple people kind of dealing with some injuries: Curtis Samuel, Dalton Kincaid, Matt Milano, their linebacker. Josh Palmer most likely won't play this game. But they could not have had a better time for this bye week. They lost to the Patriots on, I believe it was Sunday Night Football, and then they lose to the Falcons on Monday Night Football, or I'm pretty sure it was a primetime game, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, they got beat 28-14.
24-14, I believe was the score. So yeah, 24-14, 23-20 to New England. One of these was at home, one of these was away, so they could not have come for a better time. They're a little bit healthier. They're probably resetting, which I'm assuming that's what a lot of NFL teams do during the bye week. Hey, let's work on this. Let's fix this. How can we improve for this? 2 back-to-back losses on primetime definitely is a kick in the gut for a team that should be running away with the AFC East and instead is like in competition right now with the Patriots and Drake May and Vrabel. So I think they're going to be able to take the rest, get healthy, and stomp the Panthers, even in Carolina. And the Panthers, they're looking at their 4-3 record being like, this is nice. It's really nice to have a winning record right now early in the season, right? But I think it's going to be short-lived. I think they get back to 500, even at home. Even though JC Horn had a really good game last week, Bryce Young is looking a little bit better. Like, this offense is starting to do a little bit better. But the Panthers are so up and down this year, where it's like, what Bryce Young are we going to get? Are we going to get the Bryce Young that impressed us all of like late last season? Or are we going to get the guy who can barely complete a pass over the middle, or can barely get 200 yards passing, can't overthrows the wide receivers, this and that? I think the Bills are going to take this one pretty convincingly. I think they're going to stomp the Panthers. So give me the Bills to win this one.
All right. The following week, we got the following game. We're not going to skip to week 9 now. Right before we get to the Bears.
Let's go.
Playing the Ravens. We talked about this game. This has been in the talking points for 3 weeks now for us. We talked about it after the Ravens lost, and we talked about it after the Bears won against the Commanders. We talked about this being a potential turning point for both franchises. The Bears win this game, and they move to 5-2. The reason 4-2 isn't as good as 5-2, besides the obvious that it's one less than 5, it's because it is very easy to lose 2 games in a row in this league. You just saw the Bills do it. Now the Bears are going to put themselves in position to, you can lose 2 in a row down the road. You don't want to, but if you do, you still maintain that winning record. So winning 2 in a row after that puts you right back. These things matter. And if the Bears want to compete in the NFC North, this is the way they need to be thinking about these games.
Yep.
This is a tough one as far as predictions go, because Lamar Jackson returning from injury following the bye week. The odds makers, they're factoring in the difference that Lamar Jackson makes to the Baltimore Ravens offense. Believing a healthier Ravens team has a chance to win at home against a really hot Bears team right now. This is still viewed as the Bears being an underdog win, if that's where you're going with it. And I think the Ravens are going to win, but I don't want them to. Like, I want the Bears to win this one. So give me the Bears. Give me the Bears.
Let's go.
The Bears on the road.
Let's go.
And look, I need Lamar to have a big game for my fantasy. I've had Daniel Jones slinging it the last couple of weeks. So things haven't been too bad. And everyone's like, dude, you were supposed to be suffering without Lamar, and Daniel's putting up 40 points a week. So like, look, I can't complain, but I just put in a waiver to drop Daniel for Amari and Hampton. So if I'm putting all my eggs back in the Lamar Jackson basket before I even see a game, I don't know if that's smart, but I'm just gonna expect that we're getting the Lamar Jackson that we've seen the last couple of years, and I think even if the Bears play a really good game, like, Lamar Jackson's still gonna put up a ton of points in this, and this is gonna have to be the Bears win 38-35. I don't see the Bears winning a 17-14 game. The question is like, okay, you've slowly seen Ben Johnson dialing more things up, and this is how it happens, whether it's Sean Payton or Ben Johnson. The coach gets there and the fans go, why isn't the offense getting Luther Burden more involved? Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? And we're not considering, like, hey, we want to run 15 plays really well, and then we're going to expand to 25, and then we're going to expand to 35. And this has been a slow ramp up for Ben Johnson. And if you're curious, like, how can you prove that that's what's happening? Look at Kyle Monangai getting 13 touches. Look at the couple red zone touches he's getting as well. Look at Luther Burden getting more involved in the offense. Look at Swift having the more 10-yard plus rushes in any game in his career. He had more rushes that were 10 yards or more last week than he has in any other game. So, like, you're starting to see the little things, the week 1 things. The Bears are starting to do those things really well. And because of that, they're starting to add in Kyle Monangai and add in Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. And I think you're going to have a week where you're like, I don't know if you guys are ready for this type of a game plan, but I'm going to throw it out there and see, sink or swim for the Bears this week. You're taking the Ravens. You're going to need to score points. It's time to Ben Johnson to take off those life jackets and see what the Bears are made of.
Yeah, and the biggest thing you mentioned there was using Monangai and getting Swift and really the running game in general back to an actual NFL running game, right? Like he was a guy who ran the ball a lot in Detroit. Obviously you look at the plays like the stumble bomb, the laterals, the double laterals behind the line of scrimmage, and a passing touchdown to Goff or something like that. And you're like, this guy's a genius. But he had David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and even before that, it was DeAndre Swift and I forget his name. The other one,
Johnson.
No. In Detroit, it was DeAndre Swift and I forget his name. But either way, like he's had
Jamal
Williams. Thank you. So Jamal Williams, like he had two running backs pretty much his entire time in Detroit that could run the ball really, really well. Jamal Williams was more of like a tough rusher, goal line type of guy. DeAndre Swift was a little more shifty.
And he led the NFL in touchdowns.
Yeah, Jamal Williams did. Yeah. So there you go. Like if you can establish the run like Ben Johnson has over the last 2 weeks, that opens up the pass game, right? Now, Caleb Williams obviously struggled quite a bit last week against the Saints in terms of passing the ball. But luckily for us, Monangai and DeAndre Swift were having really big games. DeAndre Swift has gone over 100 yards rushing for two weeks in a row now. I think that Ben Johnson and the Bears are going to be able to run the ball against the Ravens defense. And hopefully, if we're able to do that very successfully in that first half, throughout the game, whatever, it's like you said, all right, Caleb, let's go deep. Let's get some to Rome. Let's throw to Luther. Let's get some more flea flicker stuff in. Let's get a little bit more creative. Get Colston Loveland involved. Get Cole Kmet more involved. I've seen his production go take a big dip. And the defense, hopefully they're able to take the ball away. You can't live on turnovers as a team, but if they can continue to do that, then I mean, it just makes us better. It's going to be difficult, I think, to get turnovers against Lamar Jackson now that he's back at quarterback instead of Cooper Rush. But I think the defense has improved so much over the last couple weeks, stopping Krosky Merritt in terms of rushing yards and Alvin Kamara, like really limiting those two backs who have, Alvin Kamara's got a career worth of being a very good running back, and Krosky Merritt's having a pretty incredible rookie season. So to stop those two guys for 2 weeks in a row as a defense, like Dennis Allen is really getting these guys back into what Chicago Bears football has kind of always been about, and that is defense being a huge factor in games and taking the ball away, and the run game being super effective. It's just now we actually have a quarterback who has the arm talent and able to get the ball to his, 10 targets, 10 weapons that he has on his offense. It just now Caleb and that passing game needs to take another step forward and really, really give it to the Ravens this week, because yes, Lamar's back and it was a hamstring injury that got him out of that game in week 4. But yeah, they really need to take a step forward. I think the Bears can win this game. I know what you're saying with like the 38-35, like it's got to be a really high scoring game. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm thinking 31-28 is probably going to be something.
That's fair. Yeah. I get it. I get carried away. That's what
no, but I totally get it too, because Lamar Jackson's back. You still got Derrick Henry to worry about. Zay Flowers can still be a threat. Mark Andrews can still be a threat. It's just the defenses for both sides can let up a lot of points.
I'm going to go 35-31. I think 30s both teams.
Okay, yeah, and it could be a 31-28 or 31-30 for me. I think the Bears do come out on top, though, and are able to go for 5 in a row and match their win total from last season in Week 8. Yeah, that to me is freaking incredible. So I think the Bears are going to take this dub, and go 5-2 and really, really start to become a pain in the ass in the Packers and the Lions side in the NFC North. So Bears win in Baltimore. 31-28. Let's go 31-28.
31-28. Love it. And Yeah, man. Anytime you get to your win total and you're at the halfway point of the season from the previous year, it's just, I can't tell you how good it feels like. And you're
That's so
going to get
nice.
it, obviously this year,
Can't
but it
wait.
feels good to get it that early.
Mhm.
The next game we're going to be talking about is the 49ers and the Texans. And before I dove into this game, I just wanted to make sure that I have a very clear picture on Brock Purdy, who I have. I'm subscribed right now to a. It's like they give me real time updates on player injuries.
Mhm.
So I'm going to be able to give you guys that. I'm not going to go look for it now, but as we go on, I'll give it to you guys before this episode ends. But I'm going to, for the sake of predictions, I'm going to assume he's playing in this game.
Yeah.
And I think Purdy's status being up in the air last week and the week before, maybe this is the one where he plays. We know the 49ers have had to lean on Christian McCaffrey with
Mhm.
this team not playing well. I gave him my game ball last week for having 200 yards. Not even last week. That was just Monday night.
Yeah, Purdy's not on the injury report either.
Is he off of it?
He's not on it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. So that is huge. Ricky Pearsall is another guy who's been dealing with that PCL injury with his knee. If they could get Ricky Pearsall back, hey, the 49ers might just be back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they still got Brandon Ayuk and some other stuff, but do they have Juwan Jennings? Anything with him? I think he should.
Juwan Jennings is not on the injury report. You only got Ricky Pearsall, Lenore, their defensive back, Bryce Huff, defensive lineman, Gross Matos, their defensive lineman, and offensive lineman Jake Brendel.
Are those all limited?
Some of these guys were limited, or some mispractice, like Ricky Pearsall because of his injury.
Damn, I was hoping. So that's looking like Ricky Pearsall is going to miss this week, which is a bummer. But look, the Texans can't do anything right. I watched the Texans Seahawks game. It is rare for a team to have, I think it was 3 or 4 turnovers and that team, wins the game, let alone like the Seahawks were doing their best to let the Texans come back and the Texans just couldn't. And I said it, like, I want to credit the Seahawks defense, and I will. I think they're a top 5 defense. Just be really clear about that. But I think even a top 5 defense, if you are facing a competent offense, eventually they're going to expose you, and that's why you can't turn the ball over. Like, just because Denver has a top, I think they're the best defense, doesn't mean that we can turn it over 5 times and expect them to win those games. Like, if you're playing a good team, you're going to lose them. And that's where I'm at with the Texans. I don't think they're a good team right now. And that's a far fall from where they've been. Stroud's won 2 playoff games in his first 2 years. We've kind of just been like, yeah, at times the Texans don't look good, but we trust them to get it right because that's all they've shown us so far. And they don't have a running game. They have terrible play calling. They, aside from Xavier Hutchinson, like, I think like at times you're seeing the wide receivers get some separation, but the ball placement is horrific. And you can't even blame Stroud for it because he's getting crushed every single play. Like, he's dropping back and he's getting absolutely crushed. Like, if you watch the Seahawks game, you're like, I didn't realize how bad it was. The offensive line for the Houston Texans, it has to be the worst in the league. Like, it just has to be. It was so embarrassing at what they put out there. And I put the Seahawks up some, and I definitely dropped the Texans way down. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Like, I don't know if the Texans are even like 20th or better. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Texans might be like, the 25th ranked team in my book right now.
I thought you were talking offensively, and I'm actually going to look that up right now.
Their defense is incredible, but it doesn't matter. Like, their offense can't do anything. So, their defense got 4 takeaways, whatever it was. They gave up 2 touchdowns in the opening 2 possessions, and then They pretty much shut the Seahawks out for like 2 quarters. And then it's just eventually it's too much, like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. The defense just comes coming onto the field, and it's like eventually they're tired, and they give up another play to JSN, and now they have 21. And it's like, and the defense is like, dude, like, give us more than, I don't know, 2 minutes to catch our, like. So yeah, they have a great defense, and if they had even a semi-competent offense, they would be the best team in the NFL. I can prove it just by before last week, they were giving up 12 points a game. Like, what? How are you losing so many games when your defense gives up 12 points? You just have to be like that horrific. And unfortunately, their offense is so horrific. I don't think children should be allowed to watch it. Like, it is that bad.
Could not agree more.
It's scary. It's scary how bad it is.
Could not agree more. The Texans fans right now are going through what I've gone through as a Bears fan over the last several years, where our defense has been very good and able to take the ball away and able to stop crazy good drives. And then our offense comes out and it's like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And to the Texans' credit, the team as a whole, you're right, it is not good. They are 21st in points per game. They are 23rd in total offense per game. So that offense is really, really dragging that team down. Their special teams, who knows? I haven't heard anything about their special teams, so it's probably decent, mediocre-ish. But their defense is so good. They have so many playmakers there. CJ Stroud, his offensive line just is garbage. Nico Collins dropped a pass, I think, on Monday Night Football or whenever it was, where I was just like, how do you drop that pass, dude? Like, it's Nico Collins, and him and Curtis or Christian Kirk may not play in this game against the 49ers. And those are the best offensive weapons that the Texans have right now. So CJ Stroud and this offense are going to continue to struggle because CJ Stroud doesn't have enough time to throw the ball. Their wide receivers are hurt, or their wide receivers are dropping passes at their chest, in their hands, whatever the case may be. And the running game without Joe Mixon is difficult. Whereas the 49ers, I feel like even through the injuries that they've had, whether it's Purdy, whether it's George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, Ayuk, they're still finding ways to win games. And even though they're going up against one of the better defenses in the Texans, it's going to be easy for the 49ers defense to be like, hey, you guys go out there, give us some long drives, give us some 4 or 5 minute drives. We'll come back out there and stop that Texans offense because we know we can do it. And they've shown that they can't go on long drives and score at the end of those drives. So I think this is kind of like a lopsided game, but it's also a lot of crazy stuff goes on in the NFL. So I with all that being said, I'm taking the 49ers to win in Houston. I want to say it's going to be a close game, but by close game, I think maybe it's like 7 to 10 points, honestly, like 2 scores minimum. And I think for the Texans, I think that's kind of like, phew, we only lost by 10. Thank God. So give me the 49ers to win.
All right. You and I both. Have we disagreed on anything? I took the Giants, but I think outside of that, we agreed on every pick.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's been difficult to go against each other this
yeah,
week so
it's
far.
been one of those weeks. The parity is starting to slowly separate.
Yeah, true.
Saints, Buccaneers. This is my upset.
We got one more
week.
We got one more 1 p.m. game though.
The Titans and the Colts, or no, that's a
Browns Patriots.
The Patriots?
Yeah.
Oh, the Patriots and Browns, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Thank you. The Patriots and Browns. Okay, the case for the Browns having a chance in this game, I think, rests heavily on their elite defense. Now we've seen the Browns defensively the last couple of weeks. Like we were like, I don't know what to do with this game, but the only thing I trust is the Browns defense. So we're going to take the Browns. We've seen those picks be fruitful picks for us. Like we did that last week, and they demolished the Dolphins, right? Was it the Dolphins? I think it was. It was like 24 to 3 at one point or something.
Yeah, let me look that up, the score real quick. Yeah.
The Browns have actually, in a way,
31-6.
31-6. And look, that was with us going, the only thing we trusted the Browns defense.
Yep.
And good thing that we're at least smart enough to not just chalk both teams up as the same when they're not. And the Browns defense has been doing great so far. How are they going to do against the Patriots offense, which has looked spectacular? There is going to be a study on Drake May when the season concludes as to how this happened, because Drake May has been that great this year. His deep ball accuracy is impeccable. His decision making is incredible. He is seeing the field so well. Too high safety, blitz coming from here, I'm going there. His decision making is just, it's so quick and it's great. And then the way, obviously he's gifted, and that's why he was drafted where he was because of the gifts. And they were like, but he's got a lot of learning to do. Now I'm looking back at this and I'm thinking, who was evaluating Drake May last year, saying that he was over there practicing on just getting the snap? Do you remember this? In the offseason last year, he wasn't even practicing with the team. He was working on getting the snap. And I'm like,
I remember that.
Are you sure that's where Drake May was last year? Because who was it that was head coaching this team? The defensive player for the Patriots all those years?
Yep, Gerard Mayo.
I mean, not to throw shade at him, but I just don't know if Drake May made this big of a jump or he was misjudged from the jump. If you know. So I think Drake May is a lot, and the reason he was drafted so high was because he has all the intangibles. He just has to learn the game better. Okay, maybe that was true, maybe it wasn't, but we do see that arm talent. He runs to the left, he can still throw it to the right. He can do all these different things, and it just seems like right now the vibes are so good in New England that Mike Vrabel, Kyle Shanahan's the only other guy that I could be like, yeah, coach, because the Bears, they've been predicted to be good for so long that now that they're finally starting to be good, it's like we're all like finally it's not even like the Patriots. When you exceed expectations, it's looked at way different, right? Even though they're both with the same record nearly, the Patriots being here is like, wow, they look at what good coaching can do.
It's almost accelerated. Yeah.
And it just right now I'm like, are the Browns really going to be able to go in and knock this team down? Hey, you guys are feeling a little too good about yourself. Can I give a Myles Garrett sack? I'm going to go with the Browns. Upset win again. Ooh. The Browns upset the New England Patriots. Wow. This is going to be a very ugly, low-scoring game. I'm taking the Browns 13-10. And I think Drake May's great. I just think at some point, he's going to – and the Bills, I went through the schedule, Rick. If the Patriots don't lose, because their next games, it's like the Browns, the Saints, the Titans. The Bills have tough opponents, and the Browns, the Patriots already have a better record. So, the Bills need the Patriots to lose a game like this. And I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry. I'm going back to my Patriots pick. I feel like the Patriots know what's at stake. And they know, we can't lose a softball game this year if we want to win the division. Yeah. And it's obvious that if they lose a game like this, they're not ready to win the division. And how can you bet against this team right now? They look too good.
Yeah, this is actually a tough one for me because everything offensively that the Patriots have done has looked really good, and Drake May is the guy at the helm, coordinating the entire thing. He's got Kayshon Boutte. He's got Hunter Henry. There's top touchdown targets. Stephon Diggs, surprisingly, has not had a touchdown this year, which is really weird. And when you look at him as being his number one, he's gone over 100 yards receiving twice against the Bills and against Carolina. The Cleveland Browns are the third best passing defense. They are the fourth best rushing defense. And so far, Ramondre Stevenson and I forget his name, the other running back, that
TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah, thanks. They haven't they haven't really broken out. Like the rushing game hasn't really broken out, but I think a lot of this credit in terms of the offense has to go to Drake May. Stefon Diggs isn't really a wide receiver one. He's shown it throughout games, like I just mentioned, against the Panthers and the Bills. And Kayshon Boutte, I don't think he's there yet, but I think he might be getting there with Drake May.
Yeah.
It's just Drake May's able to be the guy who not only like gets the ball to his receivers, but is able to escape the pocket and keep plays going, and then able to on a freestyle play, broken up play type of thing, either rush it himself for a first down or get it to Hunter Henry, Boutte, one of his other wide receivers, Matt Collins, to continue the drive. So Drake May needs a lot of credit for this. And you said the arm talent is crazy, man. Like him moving left, throwing across his body to the right, him moving right, throwing across his body to the left. Like it's there. Like you could tell it's there. Against the Browns too, their offense with Dillon Gabriel has just looked super mediocre. We talked about just right now with the Texans looking really bad. I really don't know who looks worse on offense, the Texans or the Browns. Like, and that's not good company you want to keep, because the Browns are in the same situation as the Texans. Their defense is elite, top 5 across the board in the NFL, but their offense is probably bottom of the league, if not very last in the league in terms of all the yards and points and things like that. So I think the Patriots have somewhat of a decent defense. I mean, they're third in rushing. I don't know what their passing is. I think the Patriots take this one at home too, but I can definitely see an upset with the Browns somehow getting this win. I mean, they beat the Packers in 4 minutes, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, whatever it was. Maybe they can upset the Patriots. I just don't think that it's going to happen. I think the Patriots are going to take this at home, but I can absolutely see this being a very, very close game, like a 17-13, a 14-10, defensive struggle, because the Cleveland defense is very, very good.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. And Jerry Jeudy, his knee injury, he was back at practice Thursday after missing practice to open the week on Wednesday. He should be good to go. And Myles Garrett officially off the injury report with that elbow injury. So the Browns getting some guys back that they're definitely going to need if they're going to pull off an upset. Next, we got the Saints and the Buccaneers, who I was so eager to get to that I skipped the Patriots game. The reason I'm eager to get to it is because this is my upset pick this week.
Oh,
the Saints are appealing to me because the Bucs are in a classic trap spot. They're traveling on a short week after a tough Monday Night Football loss, and they're dealing with the Mike Evans loss, playing at home as underdogs. I think the crowd's going to be into this one. These are divisional games, and while New Orleans is definitely in rebuild mode, so they have a poor record, the divisional games in the Superdome creates an ideal spot for an upset any week. I'm going to take the Saints as my upset this week.
Wow. I honestly kind of like that. The Bucs coming off a very tough loss against the Detroit Lions on Monday night. It's a rough one, and I'm sure Tampa Bay's looking back at the game and being like, we had opportunities, we just completely squandered them. And the Saints, they just lost to the Bears. 3 total turnovers, I believe it was, or 4. I can't remember exactly what it was. Fumbles, interceptions, a mix of the two.
Yep.
But they scored end of the second quarter and the third quarter. And I was obviously watching that game, and I saw those drives, and I was like, the Saints can do this, even with Spencer Rattler. Like their head coach can get drives going. It's just, can the defense stop, the Bucs? Can the defense get a turnover? I like your upset. And I could totally see that happening. Kind of like I could see the Browns beating the Patriots on an upset. I just don't know if it's going to happen this week. I think the Bucs are going to be like zeroing in on where they made their mistakes and how they can be better. And hopefully Bucky Irving and at least Ibuka can be back, because they're going to be without Mike Evans. They're going to be without Godwin. And they're going to be without a couple other people. But New Orleans is going to be right now. Chris Olave didn't practice on Wednesday. He's got an ankle thing going on. Chase Young also has an illness right now. Didn't practice on Wednesday. maybe we can see, depending on the injuries for the Saints, the Bucks take a more convincing win, but I can absolutely also see the Saints upsetting them. But for now, I think I'm going to take the Bucks to win this game in New Orleans. I think it'll be a close game for about 2.5 quarters, and then the Bucks kind of break free and are like, look, we may have gotten our ass kicked by Detroit, but we're still a top team in the NFC.
Yeah, and the Buccaneers, they went into that Detroit game like 4 weeks in a row needing a game-winning drive. And I was saying, like, those games are going to start turning on them, and they're not going to. And that's why I didn't understand the Bucks at number 1 because of their record thing, without the context of how they were doing it. Same with the Chiefs last year, but I think the Bucks are still going to be a good team, and they're probably going to win this division. But we've seen this every year, that there's no team in this division that just wins 11 or 12 games. That's just not how this division rolls. And and that's fine. Like, the Bucks do what they need to do when it matters at the end of the year. But yeah, this game, it would not, it wouldn't shock me. And I think the Bucks and the Saints, remember when Tom Brady was with the Bucks, the Saints were an underdog and they won like 33-0.
Yeah.
It was like an insane upset. Alvin Kamara had like 6 rushing touchdowns, and the offense for the Bucks couldn't do anything. So it's like the Saints are good for one of these every year, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, totally.
Now we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna go to a Denver Broncos game here, where they're taking on the Cowboys, which I love this game. I've always loved this game because it reminds me of my childhood. And when I say childhood, I know I'm getting old because I was over 18 when I saw Peyton Manning run a bootleg on the 1-yard line. It was so naked of a bootleg. They should have had their own OnlyFans channel just for this bootleg. Like, Peyton Manning fakes out the camera crew. That's how you know when it's a good fake.
Oh yeah.
The camera doesn't even know who has the ball, and then Manning walking in the end zone on the left side. It was his first rushing touchdown in 4 years, and he fakes the handoff and he just kind of rolls out, and he's just awkwardly running into the end zone,
jogging into a touchdown. Was so funny.
No one near him. He could
nobody.
And it would have looked way cooler, but of course he, wanted to jog and look weird. But it was. It was probably one of the best games I've ever seen. Denver won like 51-55. It was incredible. It was fireworks. Denver ended up breaking the record for most points scored through the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
And that was the year that they would go on to breaking every offensive record and going to the Super Bowl. And it was really this game where we were like, wow, even if we give up 50, we'll win. Like, this offense is incredible.
Yep.
And so it just reminds me of like watching that game with my Uncle Wolf, who was a Cowboys fan at the time. And I in Denver, the other reason it probably gives me good vibes is because they haven't lost to the Cowboys since I think like 1985 or something.
Wow.
I don't have the number in front of me. It's insane. And I want to actually pull it up because the stats like this matter. Beat the Broncos. It was. When was the last time? Okay, here it is. Here's their last 14 results. So you would have to go back all the way to. Nope. There it is. 1992.
Wow.
The last time the Broncos beat the last time the Cowboys beat the Broncos, it was 1992. So 33 years ago. Look, the Cowboys are one of those teams where offensively they do scare you a little bit. But Denver's wearing their throwbacks, and I'm not one to just
it's over.
Go, oh, they're wearing the throwbacks. Let's go with them. They've never lost in those uniforms. They're going to have, they go all out. They paint the whole field. The side of the banners, it's all 1985. It's a vibe. And if you guys haven't watched a Broncos game in their throwbacks, it's more than the uniforms. And I would just urge you to check it out for yourself.
Hell yeah.
But the Cowboys, what they do best, really, they throw the ball deep down the field. Denver leads the league in pass rush. They're not going to have time to throw the ball deep is what I'm really trying to say. Like the Cowboys do that really well. Denver is going to break the Bears record probably this year with the most sacks. If you look up who's top 5 in sacks this year, Denver has 2 players in the top 3. It is insane what Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper are doing. So this is a game where I think it'll be a close game again. But I think the game environment, the uniforms, the historic struggles, the pass rush, it's all coming together. And I just think Denver's the superior team. I think the Cowboys are looking good, but I just see Denver as the better football team because their defense is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I know you don't do the uniform thing, but pick the win off the uniform, but I'm going to do that. And the Broncos and their throwbacks, the Orange Crush, it's the Orange Crush ones, right?
Yeah.
That's just a uniform game for me. And it's like you said, like, it's really cool to see that as to see that and think of like my childhood and see the Broncos in that. And even for people who are a little bit older too, like seeing that and being like, oh, I remember when the Broncos, this was their uniform all the time. Right. I'm picking the Broncos based off the uniform, dude. The miraculous comeback last week, 33 points, 250 whatever yards in the fourth quarter is just awesome. And while you can't always expect your team to do that, kind of like how you were saying with the Bucs, like they needed a game-winning drive. I think the Broncos, Sean Payton, Bo Nix, they realized that. They're like, you know what? We got to be better in the first 3 quarters to not find ourselves in another situation where we have to win with 6 minutes left.
Yeah, they had scored 3 points in their previous 6 quarters and then scored 33.
Yeah, so you've got to take whatever it is that Bo Nix and that offense did in that fourth quarter against the Giants and really just kind of go into the game starting like that, because we know the Cowboys defense is extremely subpar, but we know their offense can actually get stuff going as well. And while the Broncos have a much, much better defense, I know Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Javonte Williams, which, by the way, probably a revenge game for Javonte Williams. He's probably going to want to score a couple. If they get into that situation or if he breaks one, they can score points on some of the best defenses in the league, in my opinion. Now, I still think the uniform, the home crowd is going to give the Broncos the edge. And if everything goes well and you guys are able to build off that fourth quarter offensively, because really offensively the Broncos have just kind of been like up and down. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I can absolutely see a 34-30, maybe even a pretty this is what I could see. I could see a 34-30 game where the Broncos win, or I could see like a 27-17, 27-20 game where the defense, when it comes down to crunch time for the Broncos, they're able to force a 3 and out for the Cowboys. Bo Nix gets the ball back, goes on another drive, and then the defense stops them to win the game again. Another 3 and out and a punt, whatever, interception. So I can see like a 34-30 game where the Broncos come out on top, or one where the defense really shuts the Dallas offense down and it's a 27-17 game. So
and Dre Greenlaw is suspended. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I was going to ask, what did you think about that? It looked like he was talking mad shit and had like a really offensive posture towards that official at the end of the game.
Yeah. And I'm not entirely sure what's the truth, because we don't have the camera angles that we need. But from Dre Greenlaw, the reason he appealed it was because apparently that rough he pushed Jonathan Cooper. And
really?
Greenlaw, they never catch the action, they catch the retaliation. And it was like when Dre Greenlaw saw that, like he was defending Jonathan Cooper, and he ends up getting suspended for that. Because you got to think, they just won the game with that field goal. Like, why would he be so mad right there? What about that moment would make you angry? And yet the game's over, and Dre Greenlaw is, I think that ref even threw a flag, which was the funniest part. That ref is like, the game's over, and then Dre Greenlaw's talking to him, and he throws a flag, and it's just hilarious because, like, of course, like, there is no penalty. The game's over, you know?
Yeah, at the end of it, yeah.
That's all he knows to do is, like...
And it looks like he pushed Strnad during the celebration is what I'm seeing right now in the video. So they, yep. Yeah.
Okay.
And Strnad looked back when he did that because they were rushing the field to celebrate the game-winning field goal. And Strnad, number 40, and let me see if I could share my screen here so that way you guys can see it. Share screen. Tab. Share. So let's do this. So right here, right? We're going to play. Look at number 40. You guys see number 40 in the middle of the page there, right? And watch him. He's going to get pushed, and then he's going to look back at him, and then Greenlaw is going to get in his face. So it's going to go really fast, but I need you guys to focus on number 40. All right, I'm going to play it. 3, 2, 1. Right there. And that's when Dre Greenlaw got him. So they reversed this on the video, and we're going to see it again. Right. Okay, here he's coming. Right, there's 40 on the left middle.
Yeah.
And there's the ref right there. Yeah. So I don't know if it was necessarily a shove or if it was like a whoa, kind of like but the way the ref's body language was, it was more of like a get away from me type of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of what I'm seeing.
Like, just like, hey, we're out here celebrating and you're like being kind of a bitch about it, you know?
Yeah. So therein probably lies why Dre Greenlaw was coming at the ref and why the ref threw the flag at the end of it, because, hey, we're celebrating, like you said, Kyle, and you were just kind of like putting hands on my boy over here. So I'm going to come at you. So
yeah, he's got to be smarter than that though. Like, I get it, but like, it's a referee. Like, you know,
unfortunately,
they can't be touched. They can't be touched.
Don't even look at them.
Yeah, they don't even exist. And the thing is though, and we've said this all years, like with the defense, we've never had, not never, but it's been a very long time since we had a real dog on that defense. Or like somebody that's going to be chirping. Like Surtan's the silent assassin, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't talk to anybody. He's just out there doing his thing, and he's the best in the league. But we needed that guy that's psychologically going to just get in that head of the quarterback or whoever. Like, I'm going to be here all day. Like, just like that personality didn't exist on our defense. Yeah. And Dre Greenlaw comes into the chat, and that all changes immediately. And that's why it was so great to have him back. But it's like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You want to have an emotional player on the field? Well, this is what comes with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, can you not be like yourself and restrained? You want to say that, like, it makes sense, right? But it's like, how possible is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But yeah, I think there's overreaction maybe on both sides with Dre Greenlaw and Strnad, and with the ref too throwing the flag and being like, he needs to get suspended, and whatever the case may be.
What, has happened during the game where like that pass interference that put them on the 1 yard line that Sean Payton was out on the field for was like, dude, the whole fans felt like Denver, like the refs tried to get Denver to lose that game, and they still won it in spite of the refs. So there was a buildup of tension.
Yeah.
I say that to say, like, it's not just that one thing. I refuse to believe that. Like
100%. It's a buildup of little things, of penalties, of maybe penalties that players and coaches don't think are fair. So I totally get that.
All right, we're going to go through this one pretty quick because there's nothing to talk about. The Colts over the Titans is my pick. The Colts they should be an overwhelming home favorite. They are the best team in the NFL until proven otherwise, I think. Their offense is incredible. They do everything right. I went back and watched a film study on how the Colts are doing what they're doing. A lot of it has to do with Daniel Jones having a couple plays that he can audible to if he sees a certain defense he likes. Tyler Warren, Alec Pierce, the weapons on this team are insane, but they've never had a point guard who could get the ball out on time. And now Daniel Jones is doing that. But Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in football this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. I mean, and you would think like, okay, so is that why they're winning? It's like, no, like you could make a case for Daniel Jones being a top 5 quarterback this year. It's not just like, Brock Purdy's just game managing. It's not like that. Daniel Jones is making elite throws every game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're, top 10 in passing yards and rushing, and not just rushing. Like last year where the Eagles were the number 2 rushing offense, but 30th in passing. And it's like, well, okay, how good is Jalen Hurts? We can't even do that with Daniel Jones because in his own right, he's leading the league in all passing metrics. So I think whenever you have an offense that is that complete and the defense is right around 15th in many categories, you're going to win 95% of your games, 95%. And when you play a team like the bum Titans, who, by the way, the whole country gets Broncos Cowboys besides this little blue spot in Tennessee that is being blessed with Colts Titans. Dude, I didn't consider this when I moved here, but this is becoming a nightmare. The entire country is getting the Broncos Cowboys besides me. And I'm like, wow, I wish I would have known that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get Colts Titans, but the Colts are going to win. It's a terrible game. The city should be embarrassed because there's good football games and they're choosing to put this one on national television. It's terrible.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go into a deep dive here. I know you didn't want to do that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm giving
Look what you got first, right?
yeah. So from kickoff, I think the Colts are going to get the kickoff first.
Started in 1983.
Back when the Colts were in Baltimore. The Colts, give me the Colts all day. Tennessee, other than Cam Ward, are without everybody who is notable. L'Jarius Sneed, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, their defensive tackle, Jeffrey Simmons. All these guys were limited or didn't practice this past day or so. The Tennessee Titans are a broken franchise right now. They just got rid of their coach. The interim head coach bump didn't give them any sort of bump. If anything, it made them worse. I feel like, and the Colts, they're minus 14 in this game. I think they can win by 14. They just have one of the most balanced offenses in the NFL with Daniel Jones at quarterback, dude. Like if you tell me this 6 months ago, I'm like, you're high. But you said it yourself. Jonathan Taylor is the best running back. I mean, you got Jahmyr Gibbs on there too. It's just Jonathan Taylor is such a monster and he's just continuing his dominance on the ground. So again, this isn't a very tough one. Give me the Colts at home. They are playing out of their absolute minds, and I still think they're the best team in the AFC right now with how good all facets of their team are playing. Give me the Colts to win by 2 or 3 scores, honestly.
Yeah, 3 scores for me.
Yeah.
All right, my game of the week. It's probably maybe it can't be Sunday Night Football. Can't be America's game of the week.
Although I feel like it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers. And the only thing that could have made this game any better is if it was at Lambeau. And it's real.
Yeah.
I gotta just say, what a bummer. Like that the NFL. I know you can't change the schedule, but like, come on. There's videos of you and me in like February saying that Aaron Rodgers was obviously a Steeler, and it's like. They couldn't have they had the same, foresight to make this happen. I mean, but regardless, it's going to be a great game. I think the coolest thing that could happen in this game, because I'll preface this with Rodgers has already spoken out about this game saying he said it was another game. He said he's got no ill feelings. He said he still texts people. He's got great friends in the building in Green Bay. He's like, they moved, onto Jordan Love. He's like, the only regret I have is that, things didn't go better in my final year, but like, I'm not mad at the Packers. And I'm like, okay, I believe that part, but the part I don't believe is that it's just another game.
Yeah.
And you could tell after the Steelers-Jets game week 1 that it wasn't just another game based on how he talked in the press conference, and yet he was only with the Jets for 2 years. So what do you think this one means to him? I think the coolest thing that could happen in this game, because I do believe he's not mad at Green Bay. He's obviously going to retire a Packer. I think the coolest thing is the Steelers they win the game, but Aaron Rodgers scores on a touchdown, and Lambeau leaps into a group of Packer fans that are at the game in Pittsburgh. I think that would just be like the most incredible moment,
Yeah.
Because the Packer fans obviously are cheering for the Packers, but it's like a Lambeau leap from Aaron Rodgers. What do you do? It's like, it's the perfect mind F, and I want to see it. I think this game is going to be tough for both teams. The Steelers are coming off a game where they made Joe Flacco look like, I don't know, like he should be starting somewhere like for the next couple of years, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really good. And you're also wondering, like, how bad are things in Cleveland? Like, for him to look that good that quick with the Bengals. And it was his first game. He didn't even have a full week of prep. And yet, no, he had one game, right? And then they played on Thursday night or something. What was it? Joe Flacco?
No, he had one game before that game, and it was the Thursday night game because
okay.
Oh no, this was the Thursday night game. Him and the Steelers, because it was the Unk Bowl.
Yeah, it was there because I watched it instead of streaming it. It's nice to do that one.
But there was 1 week before that where I believe he had a game. I can't remember exactly.
But in the post game, he was talking about how he loved the challenge of they were dressing it up like it was a Baker Mayfield Rams situation.
Right.
So that made me second guess. But regardless, the way the Steelers, they had no business making the Bengals look good for the first time all year under those circumstances. And yet that's what they did. So I have serious questions about the Steelers defensively. Now, Lil E, I believe it was pointing out to me that there were some personnel decisions that were made because of injuries that significantly impacted the defense for Pittsburgh. And some of those are not injury limited. Some of those were just coaching decisions. I'm not really interested in problems because of the coach just didn't start the right people. That's on you. Like if it's an injury, that's one thing. But the Steelers, they're still trying to figure it out defensively. They're not set in stone. And the Packers are also a team that's been getting by, is how I feel. Like they get by with, the Bengals. That's Joe Flacco's first game was the Packers. That's what it was.
Oh, that's no. Oh, yeah. You're right. Because it was the second time he was going to play them that year, this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So they played the Packers, and the Packers almost. That's the one thing the Packers and Steelers have in common. Both have just played Joe Flacco. And the only team that won was Green Bay. So but then I got to bring into the Aaron Rodgers equation, okay, how many points is that worth? The revenge, it's worth all of the points. The Steelers get the win. This is the way it works. The quarterback that has been on that team for 18 years facing his old team gets the win, unless it's Peyton Manning returning to Indy. Then he just cries the whole game. He can't get anything going. It was too emotional. But Peyton Manning's got, he's got not to say Rodgers doesn't have a great heart, but I feel like Rodgers is a little more cutthroat than Peyton Manning. Like Peyton was overwhelmed by emotion. I think Aaron Rodgers, he says he's sensitive, but I think he's a little more people call him an asshole. I think that's a necessary trait if you're going to win games like this. You can't get into your feels or you'll end up like Manning in those years where he played the Colts. He's got to just kind of the way he's approaching it, just another game, is perfect. But it's not, and we all know that. He doesn't need to say it. We know it. And I think the Steelers are going to get the win at home. And I don't think for a second that the Steeler players don't know what this means to Aaron Rodgers.
100%. And similar to Dennis Allen with the Bears against the Saints last week, right? Kevin Byard, who's been in the league for several years as a safety, was he never mentioned once about how important this game is. But as a veteran who's been around coaches and the league for so long, we know that it meant something to him. This is why Aaron Rodgers only has one Super Bowl, because he doesn't have a killer instinct, dude. He goes into this game and he's like, it doesn't really mean much. It's not a revenge game. Jordan took every little thing personally and won 6 championships. Tom Brady took everything so seriously and won 7. I think I get where Aaron Rodgers and similar to Peyton Manning or whatever, Ben Roethlisberger, all these guys, I understand that you don't want to hype this up or make it too big, get a little too big for the shoes that you're in this one. Dude, fuck it. Go all in. Take this personally. Remember back to when the Packers were basically like, we got Jordan Love. Fuck you. You're not getting a wide receiver, but Jordan Love is, right? Like, right. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not get that, that those feelings that you had when you were talking to the media, when you were still a Packer, talking about all that. And, I don't hate Jordan Love. Obviously you probably don't hate him, but you don't like that they didn't go with a wide receiver for you. Get all that. Throw that into your game plan, and why not say it to the media? Why not go into it?
I think I know, because remember the way Brett Favre treated Aaron Rodgers? I think some of this has to do with Aaron being like, it's just like the common thing where your dad, maybe went a little too crazy with discipline, physically, and you're like, I'm not going to do that to my kids. Like, I feel like there's a part of this that is like, don't forget the way you felt, the way Brett Favre made you feel, and don't keep that going. Don't do that to Jordan Love. And
I totally get. I guess what I'm just saying is like,
I hear what you're saying. Fully.
Yeah, just generate that hate, generate that passion for it. Yes. Like, and maybe he is just saying this to the media, and in the back of his head and in his own mind, he's like, I'm gonna fuck this team up.
Yeah,
fuck the Packers, right? Like, maybe that is what it is. But
Brett Favre went to a division rival. He's like, I'm the Steelers. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So why would there be? Because he said, why would this be more? And he's like, because of the Brett Favre. And he's like, Brett Favre went to the Vikings. He's like,
Jets too. Yeah, but. And I totally get that too. I just wish like some of these guys like had a little bit more fire in them when they're facing their old teams. Like Dennis Allen as a coach. Okay, I can understand why a coach isn't going to say anything, but I think it still brings a little bit of like passion, a little bit of like a slight edge.
When the Patriots won last week against the Titans, Drake May and the whole offense, they gave the game ball to Mike Vrabes. And Vrabel was like, thanks. And he ends up giving it to Drake May and was like, no, like, I'm good. Like, you guys deserve it. And they forced him to turn around, walk back, and take the football.
Yeah. There you can see.
And it's like, it's like, you're like, no, like, I know this meant more. Like, stop it. Stop the show. Like, you can be vulnerable with us.
Yep.
Like, you're safe. You know what I mean?
You can take this game ball just like Ben Johnson gave it to Dennis Allen last week. Why not? Take it.
Yeah. And I'm totally with you. I would be interested in seeing what Brett Favre's comments were leading up to the Packers-Vikings game, because he said a decade later that he has never been more nervous for a game in his entire life, including Super Bowls. He said, I just wanted to beat them down and be like, look, like, you guys made a huge mistake, and but I wonder what he said leading up to the game, and
how
he really felt, which he didn't disclose for a decade.
And these guys too, whatever player, whatever team, if you're facing your former team, maybe you don't want to say anything to the media to give them bulletin board material, which again, I totally get. And it's like a mental edge that you may or may not have, depending on if you say it out loud or if you keep those thoughts within you. Right. So at the end of the day, both of these teams,
the defense for Pittsburgh, like game plan wise.
What's that?
Do you think Aaron will help the defense for Pittsburgh prepare for Matt LaFleur?
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see that. I think at any time you face your former team and you've been with the head coach or that team, players on that team, whatever, coordinators, I think you definitely are helping. I think you're not going to be like, oh no, I'm not going to tell them all these trade secrets. Bullshit, dude. You're telling them what you think they're going to do, and whether or not it is a direct, like you're talking to them about exactly what they would do against your defense. You're saying things like, you're like, yeah, I think what would happen is they're going to attack the cornerback here in this situation. You're telling them the trade secrets without telling them the trade secrets. So I think Aaron Rodgers is helping him out. The Packers, like you said, they were coming into this year, and after week 1, dude, these guys are Super Bowl favorites. They're Super Bowl contenders. They've way after that week 1 win, they have not looked like a Super Bowl contender. They don't really look like a complete team. If anything, I think the Colts look better than them overall. And while Micah Parsons had a really good game last week with a couple sacks or so, I think we said it on here on this podcast where it's not like he's like a wrecking ball yet. Like he hasn't really had that game where he's become a wrecking ball. Maybe last week was the one where it's like finally he's kind of unlocked, but I don't know how much of a factor he'll be in this game against the Steelers. I think they're going to chip him with some tight ends. I think the offensive line is good enough for the Steelers where they can contain him, but we're going to have to see on Sunday Night Football what happens. At the end of it though, I think the Packers come out on top. I think they're going to stun the Steelers and win this game, and not necessarily ruin Rodgers' revenge game, but make it a close game to where the Packers can take the dub at the end. And it's usually this happens, and it's like we build up the Steelers, we build up the former player. I think the Packers are gonna win this one. I don't know if the Steelers offense is necessarily like up there, and I'm not saying that about the Packers either, but I feel like Matthew Golden has been doing a lot better over the last 2-3 weeks in terms of just like, you know, game by game it is improving. But I know Jordan Love is good for some of those interceptions, those really weird ones. And he'll probably throw one of those in the third quarter that really gets the Steelers' hopes up. But I think at the end of the day, Packers are going to win this one. And I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be like 24-23, 24-21. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring one. But I think the Packers go into Pittsburgh and take the dub. But it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, and it's possible that Rodgers is just downplaying it in case he loses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a protection barrier. Like, oh, it was just another game anyway, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Packers have been struggling. They're going on the road. So I'm going Steelers. So that'll be a great stream. But I'm with you. I got a close game. But I just got Aaron Rodgers pulling off some bullshit late in the game, you know, somehow win.
Yeah.
But overall, we'll be streaming that one. It'll be amazing. So be there with us for that game. And then finally, we got the Chiefs and Commanders, which oddly enough won't take me long. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think they're going to dominate the Commanders primarily because of injuries. Daniels, top receivers. Terry McLaurin may go. He may not. I don't know. It may not make a difference. Like I don't think that the Commanders are a good football team. The Chiefs are trending in the right direction. The Chiefs actually got some extra rest heading into this game because of playing when they played last week. So I got the Chiefs because remember, the Chiefs were able to sit their starters like the whole second half against the Raiders pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go Chiefs like 31-13 type of a game. Maybe 27-13, but something where it could have been more lopsided. If they chose to do it, they could have done it, but they decided like, oh, we'll just run the ball.
Yeah, I can also see the Chiefs winning this one. I feel like both of these teams are going in opposite directions, where the Chiefs are starting to find their groove again.
Wow.
And Rashee Rice just 2 weeks ago was last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Just had his first start against the Raiders, had 2 touchdowns.
Yep. There we go. Where he got a handoff, went in, receiving touchdown. Like Rashee Rice getting them back has really put the Chiefs back in that groove where they're going to be scoring a lot of points. And the Commanders, again, are going in the opposite direction. Jaden Daniels hasn't looked his best. The offense in general is very badly injured. When Luke McCaffrey and Chris Moore are your top 2 receivers, it's going to be a struggle. Like Noah Brown, I don't know where he's been at. Terry McLaurin has been injured. Debo has not looked like himself and has also been injured. So Jane Daniels has been injured. Krosky Merritt's probably their best offensive weapon, and even he's looked really bad over the last couple of weeks. Both of these teams are going in different directions, and I'm going with the Chiefs, who are, on the up and up and have found their stride again. It seems like, even though they're at 4-4, 5-4, I believe, or 4-3. They have, yeah, they're 4-3. They just had their over 500 win this past week, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs at home. It's going to be a tough environment for the Commanders. I still think it's going to be one of those, like, we could still put up a fight, but they have one of the oldest defenses in the NFL. Bobby Wagner is like their best defensive player. You know what I mean? And he's like 43. So I think it's going to be tough.
I'm audibling to a 3-point win maybe for the Chiefs. Marcus Mariota will start week 8. Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuels both are back at practice today. So we're going to see Terry McLaurin. And remember, Mariota got the start last year and dominated in this offense. This might be an upgrade from Jaden.
I still think it's gonna be a Chiefs blowout.
Really?
With Mariota. Okay. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, Terry McLaurin, Deebo coming back, sick. Like awesome. I just don't know if Mariota's gonna have the type of game if Jaden Daniels was in, which Jaden Daniels is still kind of injured too. Like, it just sucks for Commanders fans because last season you're like, perfect. We can go out and get these guys, and you sign Terry, you extend Terry, you bring in Deebo, and you're like, hell yeah, we're going to get it better. But the defense has looked pretty miserable, and giving up 44 to Dallas while their offense is very, very good. It's like, you guys are a bad defense. Like no offense, but you guys are a bad defense. So give me the Chiefs. I still think the Chiefs are going to win by, I think, minimum 2 scores. So at least 9 to 10 points. But give me the Chiefs to win this one on Monday Night Football.
I'm going to go Chiefs by 4. I think
I like it.
Commanders play a tough game. Marcus Mariota, remember, he was up like 24-0 in his start, and we were like, "What the hell?
How did that happen?"
Yeah, and also like Jaden, he hasn't been playing good because he's been playing hurt, and that's why he's getting hurt. And I think this might be like the best the Commanders have looked for a while. Like, this could be that type of a game with Deebo and Terry out there, but still the Chiefs win. But I just think that it's going to be a little bit closer, and then people are going to be like, is Jaden Daniels terrible? Because what just happened? You know what I mean? Like, imagine how people feel about this. If he goes out there and almost beats the Chiefs, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, so our quarterback sucks, you know? And it's like, no, he's hurt.
He's hurt.
Don't do what the Browns did to Baker. You know what I mean? When your quarterback's hurt, you got to recognize it and instead of just expecting them to be 100% when they're injured. But that is our week 8 predictions, halfway point of the season, or it used to be, but now it's the half and a quarter. I don't know how you
I like half and a quarter. I like half and a quarter.
Yeah, half and a quarter. And it's been great so far. It's been a really great season. So we'll see who's right and who's wrong this week. But Rick, I think it's time for
top five, Kyle.
Top five,
no debating. Top five.
Top five. For week 8. Going into week 8, Kyle and I are going to give you our top 5 teams in the NFL going into week 8. I believe I started last time. So
you did.
Let's go with who your top 5 team is, starting with number 5 going into week 8.
At number 5, I have the Denver Broncos. They are one of, I think, 4 teams that have 5 wins. They have 2 losses, one from a leverage penalty away from being 6-1 right now. And that is, look, it'll go on all year. So just get used to it. Leverage penalty will never turn that page.
Love it.
The Chargers loss felt legit. You know, we just choked at the end. But the other one is like, never getting over you. I think the understanding that leverage penalty, like, it matters more now because we know who the Colts really are. You know what I mean? Like week 2, it was like they lost to the Colts. Now it's like they were a penalty away from the Colts
beating the Colts.
Yeah, like it's a little different, and that's why I have them as a top 5 team. They're gritty. They play great defense. Bo Nix for everything that people, want to say about him. And I think Caleb and Bo have this in common where it's like Drake May goes out and has a great game. And it's like, look at Drake May, Bo Nix and Caleb do it. And it's like, it was the Saints, you know what I mean? Like get over it. Like they played a shitty team. It's like, I don't know if that's just a Bo Nix thing, but it seems like Drake May's like the golden child, and Bo Nix
this year,
like
yeah,
the stepchild.
It was Jaden. It was Jaden last year, and I think it's Drake May this year. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, like, you can't deny that this kid has something special to him. Like, when you can come back in a game like that, and just not be phased, and when the camera's like zooming in on him, even when they were down big, like, you see him laughing, you see him smiling on an overthrow, like, that's on me, my bad. And we're watching this, like, what is this guy, a psychopath? Like, does he even care? And it's like, obviously he cares, but he just, like, he doesn't get too emotional in the game. And when he finally got that to take the lead touchdown on that 25-yard run, he was running around the end zone, looked over at the sideline to the Giants, and started jawing at them. And I'm just like, oh my God, this kid's insane.
Insane.
This is the guy that is leading the Denver Broncos, and they, again, 2 weeks in a row. Now they have the longest win streak at home in the NFL. You have to go back to week 6 last year to find a loss, and I expect them to stay there, if not climb this week, depending on how they handle the Cowboys.
For sure. All right, so Broncos at number 5 for Kyle. At number 5 for me, a little bit of bias here. I'm going Seahawks because, man, their defense is top 5 in a lot of categories, top 10. Their offense, I believe, is top 10 points being scored. They're up there. They have looked really well this year, and it's credit to Mike Macdonald for being able to get that defense kind of suited up and ready to go, even with injuries to Tariq Woolen, Witherspoon, some of their defensive linemen, and yet they're still top 5 in a lot of important categories there defensively. And their offense with Sam Darnold has looked better. JSN is, I think, leading the league in receiving yards. He's had multiple games over 100 yards. I don't know if the touchdowns are really on par with the yards, but man, JSN is a legit wide receiver 1 in the league right now. And you think Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, those guys got to be leading the league, right? No, it's JSN in Seattle with Sam Darnold throwing him the ball. I think he is benefiting a ton by having him as quarterback right now. And that Darnold loves him as his wide receiver 1. So give me the Seahawks at number 5.
At number 4, I have the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are a good team right now. Darnold, it's like 2 years in a row now, he's leading the NFL at pushing the ball down the field, throws 20 or more yards. I love what I'm seeing with JSN. The Charbonnet runs really hard. He's finishing runs. And then Kenneth Walker at times, like, is a little underwhelming, but it's still like nice to have that guy that can come in and give the other guy a true, like, what is it? Hammer and sledge, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They may not have a nickname yet, but it's the same idea, and it's working out for them pretty well. And then the defensive side of the ball, they're playing nice. That defense is nice. And there's multiple examples where you see why it's so important to swarm to the football. There would be a run, and he would, break what looked like an obvious tackle, but because the Seahawks are swarming, which is a sign of coaching and dedication on the players, right? Like, the play's not over till the whistle blows. Like, they're playing hard for their coach and for each other, and they're playing together. And there's a big team aspect about them, and they look good on all sides. So I have no problem them being at number 4 right now. Darnold's still making a couple throws a game that you don't want to see. The turnovers are going to catch up to them when they play a team that's better than the Texans offensively. They could be a lot higher depending on if Darnold cleans some things up or if this is just what they're going to be this year. But I got the Seahawks at 4 at this point in the season.
I love it. At number 4 for me, I got to keep the Bills here at 4. They go down a spot because a couple other teams obviously emerged during their bye week. but you can't get fired on your day off. I say that every year. You can't get fired on your day off.
You can when you lose 2 in a row going into your day off.
I was gonna say maybe you can, and the Bills are definitely one of those teams who were very, very close on my list of getting fired on their day off. But the Bills, I think, are still one of the better teams in the league, but they have lost some two in a row, and in really bad fashion against the Patriots, where they seemed like they couldn't do anything, and against the Falcons, where they just looked lost on offense. But I'm going to keep them at 4. They go down a spot on my rankings from last week. I'm going to keep them at 4 for now, keep them at bay, see what happens this week, whether they can win or lose. They may determine whether they stay in my top 5 or not, but I got the Bills at number 4.
At number 3, I got the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, my Super Bowl team going into this year. They do not disappoint, and they continue to demonstrate how good they are. When they go to London and you're like, oh, the Duval thing, that's cute. Watch this. Boom. You know what? We'll just fly there on Saturday. I don't care what the studies and the doctors say. The science. How about this? How about we give you new data and then you tell us what the science is? Because we're going to fly there Saturday night. We're going to kick their ass.
Yeah.
And then we're going to fly our asses out of there. There will be no sightseeing. We will not be going on the tourism, mapped out areas. We're just going there to go on a business trip. And then Matthew Stafford at 38 years old, he's like, I just want to get back to my chair, in LA, and we'll just go there, do what we got to do, and get our asses back home. And the Rams did it in a fashion where the Jags never had a chance in this one. It was like, and I said this going in, you look at this is more fantasy, but the red zone targets that Davante Adams has been piling up, they hadn't been manifesting as touchdowns. But I said, like, the safest touchdown bet was Davante Adams this week. And I think he had 3 touchdowns. He just gets peppered with targets in the red zone. And it's like, eventually those are going to start translating to touchdowns. And it happened with Puka Nakua's knee injury. But even with that injury, it was like no problem for the Rams. I like what they got with Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. That's becoming more of like a 50-50 split in the red zone.
Yeah.
Not great for fantasy people, but overall, like, that's just a sign that the Rams feel that they have enough talent where they don't really need a workhorse in this offense. And Matthew Stafford, he hasn't started his dip. And I said that 2 days ago. Usually you get older, there's a slight dip. It's just very slight. And then, from there it continues. Like Aaron Rodgers had his in, I would say 2021, maybe. This has not happened for Stafford, which is really something to look at. Stafford, arguably, if I told you 7 years ago, he would be considered the better quarterback than Rodgers when it's all said and done. When he was a Lion and Aaron was a Packer winning MVPs, you'd be like, that's crazy. But that's like the territory we're coming now. He's 2 years older than Stafford, so we'll, see what happens in the next couple of years. But if Stafford keeps playing at this level, the Rams are going to a Super Bowl probably.
Yeah, and the Rams, I mean, again, after that win in London, I didn't know if they were going to have enough sleep flying in there Saturday. They looked really, really good. For me, at number 3, I've got the Eagles. I've got the Eagles at number 3. Jalen Hurts went off against the Vikings. 326 yards, 3 touchdowns on only 19 completions. He only missed 4 passes. He went 19 of 23. The passing game is back. Devontae Smith, 9 receptions, 183 yards and a touchdown. AJ Brown, 4 receptions, 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Eagles needed this game and they were able to get it. So this was definitely one of those games during the season where Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, I think most importantly, were like, whew, we could breathe a sigh of relief because this is exactly what we needed. So now let's continue it and continue our Super Bowl or our championship reign and defense, right? So I've got the Eagles at 3. they stopped the Vikings, and I think it was pretty handily. Yeah, the Vikings scored 6 points in the fourth to make it go from 28 to 18 or whatever it was, or 16 to 28 to 22. So really kind of garbage time there for the Vikings. Carson Wentz didn't look very good, even though he threw for over 300 yards, still had those 2 interceptions. They made them look bad. Give me the Eagles at number 3.
That's a big one because I don't have the Eagles in my top 10. That's our probably biggest disagreement. At number 2, give me the Colts. The Colts.
Yep.
Man, I'm pretty sure that this is the way it was last week for me. The Colts just do everything well. We already talked about it in our prediction. They give the ball to all their best players. Danny Dimes at an all-time level. They have the best running back in the league this year. They got to reap the benefits of that run on quarterbacks 2 years ago and get Latu, sitting all the way at like 11 or 12, or no, 13 actually, because we got Knicks at 12. So it was an amazing haul for the Colts. But it's all about Tyler Warren, and he's definitely going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That addition changed everything for this offense, and he may be like. On the offense, you got obviously the running back, but he's the second most valuable player on that offense besides the quarterback. So anytime you got a rookie on a winning team being that valuable, I mean, geez, this is a great football team.
Yep.
It's not fluky. They're going to be winning a lot of games this year.
At number 2 for me, I have got the Lions. The Lions proved last week against the Bucs that yes, the Bucs are a good team, but the Lions defense and the Lions team is much better than them, especially the defense holding them to only 9 points. Again, the Bucs were looking and desperate for a touchdown drive in the fourth quarter last week against the Lions, and they just could not get it. And credit to the Lions defense for that, because they're like, this is what they do, or this is what they try to do at the end of each game, and we're going to stop them. And they were able to stop them even inside the red zone. They were still able to stop Baker and the Bucs from scoring. So that defense gets a game ball, and the other guy who gets a game ball is Jahmyr Gibbs, 136 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, plus 82 yards receiving. So Jahmyr Gibbs is your do-it-all guy right now, and it's really starting to favor Jahmyr Gibbs in the rushing game over David Montgomery. But man, this is what Dan Campbell has strived for since he started his coaching career with the Lions, is develop that run game. Whether it was Ben Johnson or the offensive coordinator now, it has developed the run game, and you see the dividends it's paying off. Give me the Lions at 2.
All right, at number 1, I got the Detroit Lions. I mean, if they haven't shown you the last couple of weeks why they need to be at number 1, I don't know what you're watching. I know they lost to the Chiefs, but the way that everyone had the Bucs at number 1, and I was like, okay, well, then they should have no problem beating the Lions. And it's like, no, I didn't say that. Okay, that's what's going to happen. The Lions are going to beat the Bucs, and there was never a doubt about it. It wasn't like they just got away with, winning kind of a close one. They dominated the Bucs. They made the Bucs look like a team that I could feel confident picking the Saints to win in an upset the following week. That's how bad they got beat. Yeah. And they weren't able to get anything going offensively. That defense, and I mentioned it, they were without 6 starters in the defensive, like 6 of their top 6 guys were out. And the Detroit Lions had no problem. They are well coached. They are playing Aiden Hutchinson, he's back. And when he's back on this defense, now we remember what the Lions looked like when they were the Super Bowl favorite, and they ended up losing Hutchinson, and they actually never bounced back to where they were.
Yeah.
It was just like it kept piling on from there. But the Lions they're reminding me of what we thought of them week 4 last year. And that was the obvious Super Bowl favorite. So until I see something different, the Lions are going to be at number 1 for a while.
I totally get that. And for me, we've got our 1 and 2 flip. For me, my number 1 team is the Colts. The Colts, only team right now in the NFL with 6 wins. And they, other than 2 games in their 7 games, they have scored 30 plus. The only games that they haven't scored 30 plus are against the loss in the Rams and the win against the Broncos. Those are the only 2 games that they have not scored 30 plus points. We talked about them earlier, how their offensive attack has been so balanced and that they're able to do it with Daniel Jones, and Jonathan Taylor is having like a year he had 2-3 years ago or whatever it was that he was dominating on the ground. They are just to me, they're the best team in the AFC right now, and they've lost to the Rams, who are in your top 5, and I think just outside of mine. Really, I got to start respecting the Rams where I'm on top 5.
Who is your number 4 again?
My number 4 was the Bills.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Colts are killing it right now. Again, only team in the league with 6 wins, and they've done it by scoring 30-plus points in all but 2 games. Their defense is doing really well, but their offense is really the highlight of this team right now, and Shane Steichen's got them running smoothly on offense. So I've got the Colts at number 1. There is our top five at the bottom there on the ticker.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yep, for week 8, going into week 8. So that is our top 5. Kyle? Top 5.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
Yeah, so you got 3 dome teams. Or I have 3 dome teams. The Rams, the Colts, and the Lions all play in a dome, and I got at 1, 2, and 3. Maybe something to look out for.
Maybe something to do with domes. Yeah.
There's only and the Rams, or the Colts' only loss was against a dome team. The Rams.
Something about these domes, but I think are the Colts the only ones that are able to open and close their dome, or can the Rams?
Yeah, but like I was there with the dome open, and like you didn't feel like you were outside. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, and the Rams and Chargers stadium, it's like an open air one where you got the dome over it, but there's no walls on around it.
Definitely feels like an indoor game.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know about the Lions. I forget if they can open or close theirs. Either way, yeah, the dome team's saying something.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, these are the teams on bye weeks this week, week 8. A few of them need it. A few of them wish they couldn't have it because maybe they're on a streak or something. So that is our show for for today. We gave you guys our predictions and our top 5. So thank you guys so much for being here. Jinja, Lil E, we appreciate all the comments. Thank you guys so much for being here. Go and follow us on X at NFL with Kyle and at Only Football Pod. Give me Panthers win 31-27. I don't know about that, Lily. We'll see where we're at. But thank you guys so much for joining us again. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on X, share it with a friend, a stranger, anybody you see on the street. Let them know about Only Football here on YouTube. Thank you guys again so much. And as always, Bill, this was for you. We love you, Bill. Forever and always. And Kyle. Always a good time, brother.